Many times in business, we try to set our pricing and what we want to make based on emotions, never fully looking at real facts and data. In this episode, I break down how to price accordingly, specifically for this provider who wants to have a take-home pay of $125,000 per year with about 20 hours of clinic time per week. I do my best to help you conquer your limited beliefs about money, the importance of providing the highest value, and lay out exactly what to charge and what a typical schedule would look like. I hope you learn something new and start wrapping your mind around the idea of using facts and less emotions in making business decisions around pricing. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution, where we teach overworked massage therapists a better treatment system that will allow you to cut your treatment times by at least 50% so you can stay healthy, avoid the dreaded burnout, and help a hell of a lot more people get out of pain. If you're new to the show and you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Matt Maggio. I am a soft tissue injury treatment expert specifically for neck, shoulder, elbow, and wrist pain. My focus is on finding and fixing scar tissue and then reducing inflammation from chronic injuries without the use of drugs, injections, or surgeries, which leads to a significant increase in overall functioning and long-lasting pain relief. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out the show. How to take home $125K per year, working less than 20 hours per week. This podcast came from a question I got from a provider who's gone through a lot of my training. They're trying to set their pricing right. They're not really making the money that they want to make, not having the schedule they want to have, and was trying to figure out where to put their pricing, and just kind of looked around at what everyone else was charging and was like, well, I'll charge something similar to that. That is a problem. That puts you in what I call the commodity trap, where you get basically just judged based off price instead of what you actually do. So I just want to go over a few mindset things. I know sometimes when you hear mindset, you're like, I don't want to talk about mindset. I don't need that Tony Robbins shit. But sometimes we do, because it's limiting beliefs that are holding you back from having the life and the business and the freedom that you truly want. So what is the purpose of money? Money gets a bad rap. They say it's evil and people that have it are greedy. All money really is an exchange of energy for something. You build up that store of energy and you give it to someone else in exchange for something. That's what the purpose of money is on the most basic levels. It's not evil. It doesn't have emotions behind it. It's just an exchange of energy. I see this all the time with a lot of massage therapists out there that are struggling, where not only are they massage therapists, but they got 10 other fucking jobs. They're doing a million other things part-time, just trying to get by and make a living. And they're worried about paying their bills. They're worried about survival. You know what? When you're really fucking worried about survival and paying your bills and where your next paycheck's going to come from, or being tight at the grocery store because you didn't make as much this month, you can't focus on your clients and you can't focus on getting really good results and putting yourself in a good place. And you're just stuck in that scared and scarcity mindset. And you're really just stuck in what I call a job. A lot of you do work for yourselves, but really you just have a job. You don't really have a career. A career is something that's rewarding, that makes you a shit ton of money, buys you freedom, and something you're really excited to go to every day because you're building yourself into something truly amazing and spectacular. But a lot of you are stuck with a job, and when you're in that job mindset, fucks with you, puts you in a bad place. Another thing I always talk about, you have to understand the difference between price and value. I know I sound like a broken fucking record, but basically price is what someone pays. Value is what they get. So many people focus on the price of things instead of what the value is. And that's where I talk about so many of you out there are just stuck providing services, not really providing solutions. So you got to stand out in the marketplace. I know I say this all the time. And if you're getting tired of hearing about it, about the idea of like specializing and having a niche, then stop listening to the podcast, because that's what needs to be done. You need to stand out in the marketplace. You're just looked at like everyone else. I know you might say, oh, well, I do things better. I'm a better with my hands. I do better cupping. I do better stretching, whatever. No, you don't fucking do much better than anyone else. You need to stand out so much that people will be like, what is this? This is different. This is specialized. This is unique. So what you do to stand out in the marketplace, number one, is pick a specialized niche. Fix a problem in one problem and solve it. Be the neck person, be the shoulder person, be the plantar fasciitis person, be the carpal tunnel person. Be that and just focus solely on that and get so fucking good that no one else can even come close to understanding what it is, how to fix it, and just being that true expert. Next thing is do it better than anyone else. That comes with more training, more skills, more focus. And lastly, do it faster than anyone else, because the only thing that beats cheap and free is fast and better. So a lot of you, and I do this myself, is we make a lot of our decisions based off emotions and instead of facts. Facts don't care about your emotions. And so many of us make a lot of decisions, not just in business, but in life, based off emotions. And that can really fuck with you. And I've done that a lot, where I've made some really dumb decisions because I was being emotional, and it really put me in a bad place. The next thing you should do, and like I said, if you have a career and you have something that's really unique and specialized, your income should be predictable. You should know how many people you're going to get in. You should know how many units of available time you have. You should know what your marketing looks like. You should know what your sales process looks like. You should know how you deliver care. You should know how you keep the clients going in retention and coming back and sticking on maintenance. But most of you don't, because you just have a fucking job and you're just going through and just kind of throwing some shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. You don't have a predictable system. So many of out there want to learn more techniques and more treatments. What you really need is a motherfucking system. A system that shows you what to do from start to finish, fixes people better, faster than anyone else out there. That's what my system does. I know I give these plugs every once in a while, but shit, it really is. It puts you on a different level. You can specialize, do it better, do it faster than anyone else. If you haven't got the free training, go in and get that. That's where you can start and get your head wrapped around the idea that you can be one of these specialized people that really fixes shit. So let's break down this one from this question, wants to make $125K pre-tax. That's pre-tax. That's another thing too. One thing that we look at is, you have your gross is what you take in, and then your profit is what you actually take home. I heard from a mentor once that gross is for the ego, profit is for the family. Exactly. So this person wants to make $125K pre-tax, and they let me know that their monthly overhead right now is around $1,000 per month. So they'd actually need to make $137,000 per year. And I want them to work a 50-week schedule, because 2 weeks off would be really nice. I think you could probably even get 3 or 4 weeks off, but shit, I like to work. 2 weeks is more than I need around the holidays and stuff like that, because I have a career, I have a business that I like, so I'm actually excited to be there. I don't need to escape. So next thing, in order to do that, in order to make that $137,000 per year over 50 weeks, we do this thing called math, and we divide that $137,000 by 50. And that comes out to $2,740 per week that we need to make. Next thing we want to look at is what's called our units and our available units. So what is a unit? Unit is how many clients you can actually see without wanting to blow your brains out. What I like to see is about 40 to 50 units per week. And you're like, oh, that seems like a lot. It's not. Basically, what we do and what we teach and we have you implement in your clinics when you go full into the peak method is we have you go to a 5-hour per day schedule, and you do 30-minute sessions, not an hour long, not 2 hours, not 4 hours, 30-minute sessions. That's what I talk about. This is how you can double your income all while working 50% less. And that's going to be 10 clients per day. That might seem like a lot, but in our treatments in our system, we don't do linens. We don't do any shit like that. It's no lotions or oils or anything like that. We're just getting down functional and really fixing it to the best of our ability. It's a totally therapeutic experience. It has nothing to do with relaxation or foo-foo stuff. If you want to do that, that's totally fine, but you ain't going to stand out from anyone else out there. You could also, if you don't want to work those 5 hours, you could do it over 4 hours, over 5 days. You still got 10 units. Then you have 8 units per day and still at that 40 per week. So now we know we have 40 available units. So what do we need to charge per session for 30 minutes? We need to charge $68.50 Huh. Doesn't seem like that much. But remember here, we're going to take home that $27.40 a week now, and we're only working 20 hours per week. How much can you really do in one day? If you're doing like these long marathon fucking sessions, hour and a half, 2 hours, how many of those can you really do? So basically what we would do is if you implemented the peak method, say you're charging $75 for an hour now, what we would eventually do is we'd have you charge $75 for 30 minutes. Now you're at $150 an hour and you're working way less hard and you're getting better results. So yeah, you can make that type of money when you actually look at it factually. How many available units do I have to make? How many can I fill in? What should I charge? So now when you do your marketing, you do your sales, you do everything like that, you have units and you have to fill those units. Get the fuck away from selling your time for money because you're never going to grow. Then your income isn't going to be predictable. We take it to the next level in some of our training as well, where we really teach you how to get clients to pay for 8, 10, 12 visits up front, no discounts, to see this all the way through. And what happens is now you have predictable income. You have predictable money because you're thinking about it factually. You're not just like, I want to make $100,000 this year and this is what I'm going to do. And you're like, well, it's the holidays. I'm just going to slow down. That's just what happens. No, it doesn't happen. When you got shit that works, people are going to make it work regardless of the situation. And when you start blaming circumstances or what's going on in the world of why you're not successful, it's because you have limiting beliefs in your own brain. So some action steps for this episode. I'd say number one is just that mindset shift, going from what I call scarcity mindset, where you're like, this is how it's going to be. And I'm going to be poor just because I just want to help people. And you tell yourself all that hippy dippy shit and make excuses about why you're struggling and you got to work a second job and really bust your ass, into what I call an abundance mindset. When you're providing value, you're doing it better, faster than anyone else. You know what? The money fucking flows and comes to you. Next thing, once again, focus on a niche, a specialty. Do it better, then faster. And lastly, quit thinking so small and start thinking big, and start acting like you have a business and a career and have a system and a process in place, and make the money that you truly want, that's going to help you not struggle, not have to worry every month about where it's coming in. It's going to be predictable. And you know what? It's going to make your whole life a lot easier, and it's going to be better for your clients, and it's going to be better for you. That's all I got for you guys. If you like the episode, share it with others to help them as well. And lastly, as I close out every podcast, go out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your treatments and solutions so people can stay the fuck away from pain pills and surgeries, which only make things worse. I appreciate you guys listening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number one, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.